Okay, so I welcome you all to this project management workshop. This is a full month workshop starting today and will be ending on 7th March 2015. It is a mix of theory, practice and discussions on case studies. My focus will be to explain you project management concepts in simple terms. Our base will be PMBOK 5th edition. We will go through chapters and understand what is documented and referenced in PMBOK. You would have already gone through the program schedule. We will have 4-hour session on every Saturday and Sunday until 7th of March. I hope you all have downloaded handouts. At the back of the handouts, we have question answer section. There are around 15 questions for every chapter. We will use these questions to review our chapters and reinforce learning. I believe this model will not only help you understand project management concepts, but also prepare you to PMP certification. Now let me lay down some ground rules that will help all of us to have better experience and make this workshop interactive and interesting. I just turned you all in the mute state. As I finish this introduction, I will unmute you all because we have a very small group. But when we have this freedom, we also have to maintain a little discipline for a better experience. It is very simple that you keep yourself muted. From your side, you have the right to mute yourself. I also have the right to mute. So please mute yourself, unmute when you have to speak, and mute yourself once again as soon as you are done. So this will help us to reduce noise and disturbance and communicate with better voice quality. Many times we do not realize that we are not muted. And if I see some noise coming over there, then I will mute you. But you can always unmute you. When you have a question and something is in progress, please write down your questions in the chat box instead of holding it and waiting for the right time. The chat box you see just below the list of participants. Here is chat box. This is what I'm referring as chat box. Okay. I will pause time to time and answer your questions from the chat box. In case you need to speak and something is in progress, you can mention this in the chat box. Yes, you can mention this in the chat box. Moreover, whenever you see there is a pause or there is a silence, you can unmute you and speak yourself. There is a fair possibility that you may get disconnected sometime. Do not worry too much, just join back using the same link. Please use the same signature of your name to log in again. There is a fair possibility that I also get disconnected. In such cases, you may stop hearing me or page may not refresh. Kindly hold on and wait for some time. I will join back soon. We have given you handouts and I hope you all have now. Let me show you how you can make your notes in handout. let's suppose take this slides. You have a comment option here. When you click on this, a box will open which you can use to make your comments. Suppose you think that this process group interaction is very important for you. You want to highlight, so you click on this and this you can highlight it. You want to make a specific comment on something, you can put this, click on this and put this near to where you want it and type your comments here. Okay, so wherever you go, hover over this this icon, you see your comments. You want to like add a line or you want to type down something, you click on this T icon, come over here, place it somewhere and type your notes like this. You have many other options as well. You want to like cancel some part, you can cancel that part. You want to highlight a little bit more, you can highlight a little bit more like this. You want to have a specific place, put this text box and type your like this. So there are various options available here which you can use as per your time available and as per your convenience. Now what you need to do, you do not close it like this, just say save as and save at wherever you find is okay, you can save it, like save my documents and put an appropriate name or add anything in this and say save it, and this PDF will be saved with your comments. Okay, now we will take a half an hour break. After 1.5 hours, means it is like we started at 7 o'clock, so around between 8:30 to 9 o'clock we will take a half an hour break. Now as the people from a wide spectrum have joined, so the different people have different time zone, and therefore let me show you. Maybe you already have noted down, but just to get concurrence on that, so this maps to like this. So in India it is 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sorry, it is not 11 p.m. it is 11 a.m. So this is not p.m. it is a.m. Okay, so this is it mapped to 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Bangkok. I feel this is let me know if there is any difference in that. I have misunderstood your timings. Okay, so let's make this workshop interactive and discussion oriented. I request you to share your views openly, bring out your opinion, respond to the questions, do exercise, ask questions, clarify your all doubts here. whatever you have, even the smallest one, is most welcome. So let's get started, and to start with, let's have a round of introduction to know each other, set expectations, work out focal points, and to keep it short, speak out your name, your organization, the role you play, your total years of experience, your experience in project management, and quite important is that you also speak out about your primary 1 or 2 expectations from this workshop. I will say your reason to join this, and they can be your success criteria for this workshop to be successful. Or share any other information, whatever you find appropriate, but let's keep it brief. So you may not remember all those things. Let me place this here. Okay, so I have just wrote down these points which I think help us to in introduction and stay focused and do not deviate from the topic and keep our introduction brief so that we can focus more on our subject. But this is very important thing because we must know each other who are there in the room, and we should also know the expectations you have from this workshop so that the workshop's content can be appropriately focused on or customized if required. Okay, so we can start from the top. I see on the top Amitabh. So Amitabh, you can unmute yourself and can speak out about yourself.
Okay, fine. Is it audible now? It's okay?
Yes, it is very clearly audible.
Hello? Okay, fine. Okay, so my name is Amitabh Kukureti. Location is Mumbai. I am presently working in Reliance Communications Limited. I am basically from IT background. Mostly I have been since I have total experience of around 20 years.
Okay.
And mostly it is right from the beginning it is in IT.
Okay.
Project management, I can say around approximately 10 years of experience.
Okay.
I have been working in abroad also, and I have managed the various teams from different countries, people from different countries and backgrounds.
Okay.
My expectation basically is, the thing is I have been working since, although I am doing project manager for last 10 years, I don't have the first thing is I don't have the certification as such, which is critical in today's world because generally companies are looking for PMP certification. That is one thing why I joined this. Another thing is whatever there are certain my doubts or clarification on project management, which want to have more clarity on what are the things basically which I face in general while doing the project management. So maybe those doubts will get clear through this workshop. That is my expectation.
You say there's some issues, some clarification on the day-to-day life.
Some issues means on certain project management points. So during the course of action, wherever I feel I will raise the doubts, and maybe I hope that those will get clarified.
Definitely.
Another thing is, okay, what kind of projects? So mostly it is, I have been in IT right from the beginning, and I'm doing the IT projects and different, including the sort of MNP which has been done for India, mobile number portability implementation for Reliance Communications. So all type of projects I am handling.
or mobile number
IT projects.
MNP, the mobile number portability. Okay.
Correct. That is one of the big projects which I have handled, the number portability, and also there are certain analytics projects which I have handled.
Okay, great. I also want if you can tell me one or two like big challenges which you normally face in the day-to-day life as managing projects.
During the project, you are saying? During the project, correct. So the basically, okay, during MNP, one thing is basically handling the vendor management is one of the challenges. So we're external vendors, and so generally in all the projects we have the external vendor involved. So
right.
Managing them, and that is one of the challenges which.
So when you say like managing vendors is difficult, so what exactly difficult? What aspect is difficult?
It's not difficult. I'll say it's a bit tricky. Basically, the handling the balance between what we are expecting from them and how to get it done, and how to, because there are certain things on which vendor will not easily give up, and if we from the organization side there is a push, like we want to have something. So okay, although there is a scope thing which is already defined, but still there are some things which has to be taken care of during the course of a project from the organization side comes up. So how to take this with vendor?
I will say, is it like the biggest challenge is on the time side, biggest challenge on the quality side, or biggest challenge on the scope side?
One of the scope is on the scope side. It's because scope, you say there is a push from the management, the projects, and there are something.
Okay. No, I think this is a little. Okay, I think we couldn't hear this properly.
No. So mostly related to tricky, actually.
I got,
because we have to get it done, and
the scope is biggest challenge actually, where the
your voice is okay. So
the voice,
yeah, scope. What I'm saying is
scope
basically scope is one of the biggest challenge.
Okay. Thank you, Amitabh. Thank you very much. Let's move to Manoranjan.
Okay. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi all. Good morning. I'm Manoranjan Mishra from Mumbai. Vivek sir probably should remember me.
Yes.
I am a ex-student, and basically it's my fault. I should have completed and given this exam way back, but due to various reasons I could not. But this time it's a do or die situation for me, so I have to give the exam by May at any cost. And that's the only reason I have joined this course, because I wanted to refresh everything and prepare myself for the exam by May end. I work for IPC, so to give you a background of myself, I work for IPC India as a project manager, and I deal into IT projects. I have experience of around 10 plus years, out of which on project management side is around 2 years. The challenges I face mostly in project management is for time and cost. Most of the time I get requests for getting things done quickly, for getting the plan we have made, or reducing the cost, and that's when I don't actually know where to cut the time or where to cut the cost, and that's something I would like to understand from this session.
Okay, so time and cost is still a challenge to meet ends in the projects.
Yes.
Okay, and you coming from Mumbai, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, great, Manoranjan. See you again, and I really see that you should not wait for May. I think you should give the exam in March.
I've already submitted my application. I'm just waiting for them to confirm so that I can pay the money.
Okay. And I say you schedule this in March, and definitely when this is a full 1 month program, right? So I say
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
very good opportunity during this whole time. If you can take out 2 hours a day, I think by the time this course will be over, you will be fully ready to give exam.
Okay, sir.
So
Yeah.
we have especially kept a full length exam on the last day. So I think you can check yourself that where you stand, and I am sure that you will be standing very loud and clear for giving the exam.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's go to Rupesh.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm I'm Rupesh Chauhan from Radhe Group of Energy, Rajkot. It is located in Gujarat. I am working with this organization last 8 years. Uh,
Yes. Go ahead.
uh, I think it's okay or another thing I will share.
Yeah. You tell me your roles. You say total of experience you have in front of you, right? You can respond to these questions. That's why I have put all the points there on the screen.
Yeah, my total experience is 14 years.
Okay.
Uh, Project management experience is last 3 years.
Okay.
I'm working with this organization,
Mm-hmm.
and my expectation is uh,
What's your primary expectation? It's not all expectation.
yeah,
Primary expectation.
yeah. Primary expectation is smoothly running project and improve myself also.
Project management expertise, to gain project management expertise.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And, yeah. My right now my challenge is root cause and documentation and ground level people communication.
Okay.
Like, challenge.
Ground
Now.
level workforce
Ground level
communication.
communication.
Okay. So what do you really face there actually when you are communicating with ground work for workforce, I will say.
Uh, Not my side, but they are internally. I think, and I monitoring their people.
Hmm.
That people they are very egoist and they are every time they are fighting and
Okay. So do you have to sort out lot of conflicts among them?
yeah.
Okay.
But now I am approximate 50% I am success
Okay, great.
because I was already complete my 24, 25, 28 hours
Mm-hmm.
from you, learn from you. So now I am 50% success.
Okay, great. So
That
the
case.
last session worked for you, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I think if that is the case, maybe the human resource and communication are going through again will be quite helpful. But overall will be helpful because everywhere team plays a very significant role in executing the projects and most dynamic aspect of the project management.
Yes, sir.
Sure, I think we will do further on that, and definitely I would like to see you would be 100% successful there.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks, Rupesh.
Yeah.
Let's go to Shashank.
Hi everyone, I am Shashank Yelekar. My current location is Bangkok, Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with Ericsson Thailand. It's a original equipment manufacturing vendor into telecom. I'm currently working as a project manager. My total experience is 12 years, and my experience in project management is around 9 years.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. The main expectations, what I'm looking from this project management is, I am working as a project manager, but haven't got a full end-to-end responsibility for handling the projects up to now.
Okay.
Either sometimes I take care of planning part, sometimes execution part. So I've not got the end-to-end responsibility. So first major expectation is get the expertise on the complete project management, so that I can take one or some projects handling individually.
Fantastic. And second is certification.
Second is the PMP certification, definitely, which is becoming the important role in day-to-day life.
Right. And definitely it make I believe it make a lot of difference. Not only certification, but also the I think the kind of knowledge during this, when you prepare for this, the kind of knowledge you gain, it has an impact on the practice. It all depends upon what your intention is. If you just want to pass PMP exam, you may not gain much. But if you really want to learn project management and then want to give exam, then sure, it will be make it quite significant impact. So what are the challenges, one or two challenges which you face? Vendor management? No.
Vendor management, I still okay. Mainly I face challenges in planning part.
Okay.
Vendor management is still okay. Mainly it's planning part.
Planning the all activities involved in the matter, not getting much surprises. Nowadays we get a lot of surprises when we are when project unfolds.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so planning is main item. Okay, great. Great, Shashank.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And let's go to Vikas.
Hello.
Yes, Vikas, go ahead.
Yeah, Vikas. My name is Vikas Tripathi. I'm located in Singapore, and I work for an organization called Ebix Software, and it is basically my company does. It's a product company, and we make software products specialized for the insurance industry.
Okay, insurance industry, especially.
Yeah, insurance industry, software products for insurance industry. So basically we specialize in that domain of insurance.
Okay.
So we don't make generic software. And my role is, I am a product manager, and my total years of experience is about 16 years, but relevant experience is 12 years. And my project management experience has been about 10 years. As a product manager, let me explain a bit about my role again. As a product manager, basically, I have about 7 or 8 different products to manage.
Okay.
In the sense that because my company sells these insurance products, but they need to be customized based on the country and the location, because the insurance rules and regulations in different countries are different.
Right.
So customizations and implementations and deployments, and some of these customization may sound like a small word, but actually I have seen customizations which go on for 3 years.
Okay.
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 So,
customizations. Okay. significantly
biggest
changing the
friends.
product.
Yeah. Some of time, and obviously because it's our own product, so we always keep on improving, and we try to, bringing latest technology and whatever to make it more suitable to the current market. So okay, that is the thing. What is the prime expectations? Okay, expectation is that my big challenge has been managing the scope, and scope in the sense, if because I'm not building a software from ground up, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But this, because some people say it's only a simple, VAT or a taxation system change, but and we take it like that, and
Turn out
and
to
then
be a big one.
we go on to see it turns out to be a big thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that part is there, and but thanks to the fact that, okay, because I'm quite comfortable with multicultural situations, that's not a problem.
Right.
But and the other one is of course the certification, because I and significantly because my company is also ISO, and we are also like SCI CMM I level 5.
Okay.
And I was the software engineering process group head while I was working in India in the same organization in Noida.
Okay.
Okay, so but my knowledge of project management processes has been like a rat picker. Okay, because it's not
It's learned by experience.
it's not focused. Yeah, it's my experience. I have not read anything.
Yeah. Okay. It's not through a
I joined.
it is by only experience.
Yeah. It's because it's not structured.
Yeah, it's not.
I know some things in great detail. I don't know something and nothing about something like that. And I think, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so what is the biggest challenge?
Challenge is this one about not being very structured in way. I think I go by instincts.
Okay.
And instincts work, but sometimes they don't work.
Many times doesn't work actually.
Yeah.
Instinct.
So I would like to get some more structured methodology into my style of work.
Okay, so instinct do work. It has to work actually. But what happens when the project is little bigger? Our instinct doesn't go up to that length actually, and then where we need proper planning so that we can improve our impromptu response. So when you do better planning, better things, your impromptu experience, like the actions normally improves because you have better clarity about the future. And that is all about what we're talking about, is structured way of doing the things.
Correct. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. So let me close this with my introduction. This is Vivek Prakash, and I have over 20 years of experience in the industry. Majority of that is in IT when I was used to work, but last couple of years when I'm doing consulting, I work with manufacturing units, I work with construction units, and I work with IT units. So with consulting, I have, my training and consulting part have experience in these three, mainly in these three industries. Though there are other also, but it's not that much, like biotech and other things also where I have given some kind of training and consulting part as such. So, and I have over 12 years of experience in project management, practicing and building a community of project management around me actually. So I have been very closely associated with PMI and PMI's chapters. My journey with this started with, I get attached with PMI Mumbai chapter about in 2003 or so, and then my I'm continuously involved in some kind of voluntary activities. One of the major thing, or the first thing which I started doing with the Mumbai chapter, was to create a group of project managers, and we a club actually. So I created a PMP club there, and that was the main objective of that PMP club, was to network across the industry, across the companies, and share some knowledge. So knowledge sharing and the networking, providing a networking platform which help people to and guide people to for their certifications and sustaining the certifications. So one of the attraction was that when you join this, it was giving you some PDUs. So that was one of the things which you immediately get. So initially it was a tough job for about 6, 7, 8 months, but after that it was like people started turning up. And today, I think, so after so many years of work, I think even after me, a lot of people have worked really decent work and very good work as such. So today it is one of the flourishing event of Mumbai chapter. Even now I'm not attached with that. I'm a member of Mumbai chapter, but I do not do so actively, do not participate so actively. But this event which I start created as such, that is still flourishing there. I have done various participated and actively played a role in organizing seminars, conferences. From then onwards, I am continuously doing trainings on project management, on this PMP stuff, project management fundamentals, Microsoft projects, and other especially another expertise which I have, the software estimation part. So this is my journey, and so far in my experience and my consulting and training part. And let's get started with our session. So give me a moment and let me bring the presentation on the screen. Okay, so I talked about myself, but my company is also involved in this matter. So let's little bit about my company's pmwares, which is basically a consulting firm, and the mainly two sides of business. One is training, another is the consulting part. When we do consulting, the consulting part involves that setting up or standardizing the project management process. In consulting, our main focus is on SME sector, that is the small and medium sized companies, and where I identified, or I have, whenever I'm interacting, I see there is a lot of lack of project management practices in these companies, and because of that they're suffering with various type of problems, like not able to manage the scope and not able to deliver on time, not able to managing the cost, etc. They forecast something, happens something else. And when some of you talk about that vendor management is one of the issues, actually the company which you are talking about, they are mainly in the SME segment, and they trying their best but not able to do it. So that is one of the sector which we normally target for consulting things. And the main thing about that train them on the project management concepts, processes, and setting up a system in their organization which help them to follow this system, follow this project management processes easily without any bureaucratic way, and minimizing changes at their workplace. So when new things come, a lot of things changes. So our effort is to minimize. They can continue with their things and project management processes should fuse into their day-to-day life without bringing any bigger lot of document. Normally people have complained that a lot of documentation comes. Yes, documentation will come, but minimizing the documentation and more focusing on the systematically delivering in a structured manner. So that is our major part is the first point. Then we help people when they get into in a systematic way, then setting up a small group there which can continue. So if we are not there, our job is temporary in the organizations. We go set up and exit. But before we exit, we try organizations should set up a PMO so that those people can continue play the role of guiding the organizations and bringing change as the industry changes. So that is the second part. Many times people do not have very comfortable in their organizations, so say you outsource your PMO, we will manage this PMO part. Then helping them setting up the enterprise project management. So when we comes to enterprise project management, we do not install or and configure the project management system like Microsoft Project. We do not do that, but we work on the client side. You say, because most of the client do not know what requirements or what exactly the problem they're going to solve with the new system. So they implement the system, but the system is not so successful because it's not aligned with the organization needs. And the vendor who actually install it doesn't have much idea about what the organization actually, what problem organization want to solve. So making customer understand what the problems are, what are the needs are, narrating that to the vendors, and then letting vendor configure the software in a way which can directly address the organization issue and make the life comfortable in the organization. And during this time, we mainly there is a lot of mindset which change is required. So that is where the coaching and mentoring come into picture. And the guiding and support is once the system is there, then many times the situations are there in the organizations which are or in a particular particular projects where a continuous support is required, because learning here in a training does not mean that the person who has been in the training can handle all type of things. So on the job support is also be there, and it could be need based kind of thing. That is one of the consulting part. Then on the training part, you like this one, we have other training also, like project management fundamentals, which is actually focused on the entry level project managers. And it is mainly to let them know about the structure of the framework and the structure, and focus on some of the important aspects. Then advanced project management. Advanced project management is normally a comprehensive project management training. The base still remain the PMI methodology, but we customize a lot with considering the needs of the organization. So there is a need analysis, issue analysis is required before we do such kind of training. Then the Microsoft project, that's a pretty standard training as such, but it is also customizable. Means based for when we do for corporates, we normally ask what is the purpose of this and what problem they're trying to solve it, and then some of the modules are normally get customized to that. Then PMP certification workshop, that is a pretty standard one. The main idea is to focus on certification, but that's not the only idea. The idea is that this learning or preparing for the exam is basically a journey, and make this journey enjoyable and make this journey such that people learn what they have to practice on the ground. When this happens, the PMP exam becomes much simpler to pass, and also you become more effective at the workplace. You start dealing with the people, you start dealing with the system, you start dealing with the situation and the issues in a much matured manner, we say. Then there are some soft skills for project managers. There are soft skills in the HR trainings, but our focus is project managers, the problems which are more important in the project management area. And then the function point analysis. Basically, function analysis is one of the estimation technique, but we do programs for complete all the like three, four techniques of estimations. So this is not only the function point analysis, but function point analysis normally we recommend because this is one of the technique which we think that is the most accurate one. And formula driven, not the person dependent. Before we start, normally I ask this question because we just have one thing. You see that the one liner change request come and then explodes. So this is a similar kind of scenario, and I would like to know from you what answer you think is right for this question. What do you think should be the right answer?
C.
C?
A.
Okay.
I would go for B actually.
Okay.
I would go for a B, doing the impact analysis first.
Okay. As such, all the answers can be right as such, but it's the matter of what you do first actually. So though the client says he has done the impact analysis and there is no much impact, but the question should be asked in client, customer and the vendor's relationship, who is the expert?
V.
Okay.
Yeah.
The vendor? Vendor's expert?
Yeah. Anybody who is providing the solution is the expert.
Right. So normally vendor provide the solution.
Yes.
If somebody comes to us for some work, definitely he thinks that we can do this better. And at least we are projecting ourselves, even if we are not so good, we are projecting ourselves that we are good.
Yes.
And therefore we are on the job. So if vendor is the expert, then who should do the impact analysis, and whose impact analysis will be right?
Definitely the vendor.
Definitely vendor. So customer not supposed to do impact analysis. This is the job of vendor. Many times customer is in hurry, under pressure, trying to deliver something faster than they can, and such situation arise. They say, oh, I have done it, I don't see any issue, just go and implement it. You know, customer does not understand because he is not really expert. But if vendor accepts so and implement it, the fair chances that problem comes. A one-liner will not be one-liner, it will be actually 10 liners. But it will happen when you start working on it. And then the customer will not be able to meet his objective because he wants to get it faster. And therefore, even if you accept his impact analysis, your customer will still not be happy. 90% or more than 90% chances he will not be happy because he will not get the end result. He is in a hurry. Definitely he is not also not expert. His analysis will be shallow, and if you accept his assessment, then we are inviting a trouble for ourselves and for the customer as well. First customer, and if customer is in trouble, then we are also in trouble. So many times I have seen vendors, and most of the time in fact, that they surrender in front of customer saying customer is God, but God doesn't say to do whatever God is saying. You think about yourself and then do. And therefore they mess up the situations, and customer get an opinion that this vendor is not able to manage. Nobody sees his own sin, but I will say you have accepted, therefore it is your sin. You may say that customer doesn't see his sin, but our sin is bigger than his because we accept it. And therefore that is what where the project management, all project management starts. So what customer has done, not done, is doesn't matter. It is we have to do our impact analysis. Many times people also go for D, call a team meeting to discuss next course of action.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
even if people do not opt for D, but I have seen in the practice, this is the first thing they do. And this shows that we do not have a process in place. That means customer has requested a change. Is it something very surprising move?
No.
It's a very regular move, right? Customer suggests
Yeah.
change, it's a normal thing. And because they're suggesting a change. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. My question is, see, I think for option D is call a team meeting to discuss the next course of action. Actually, that is where people may go wrong, because the team meeting could be to do the impact analysis, right?
Yes.
And I think impact analysis is also a team effort. But yeah, to discuss the next course of action, what should I do? Ye jawab de, wo jawab de, not that. But to do an impact analysis, so actually B and D, if there's a team meeting to do an impact analysis, that is good.
Right. So the thing is that the option is call a team meeting to discuss next course of action. That means we don't know what should be done now, and that is a problem. If that is the case, it means you don't have a process for a regular stuff. You should know what should be done next when the customer is suggesting a change. And if you don't know, then that shows that your project, in your project or in your organization, processes are not followed. You are putting too much of effort for a very regular stuff. If one person can decide, oh, it should already be known, you are taking the time of 5 to 10 people of your team, which in my consideration, it is a waste of time of all those people. If we just set up a process that when a change will come, we will go with this process, then there is no need of any team meeting. So that is also about in project management, that what project management is saying, have a system in place so that people should not put more effort on a very regular stuff. And that's why this question is normally, because these all four are quite possible answers of this, but the thing is that even A is quite possible. Many times people resist every change whatsoever is coming. That may irritate the customer also, and that may not be justifiable also. Okay, so let's get into the project management framework and see.
But this D, sorry Vivek, this D also can be taken, right? When you get some request in change of scope from the customer, okay, and you do the impact analysis, right?
Yes.
After impact analysis, you can call for a meeting with the stakeholders.
Yes, yes.
Whether we can agree on this is the impact or this is no impact, even if we add these changes into the current going project, and then the stakeholder decides, okay, go ahead with it, or if it's not, this much is the cost involved, okay, change, put a change request, approve and go with the change. Can be done same way.
Right. After B, all three are
D also can
A, C or D.
Correct.
All three are possible after B.
Yep. First option is
what your impact analysis says. You can say no, you can implement it, or you can call a meeting also. But first step is impact analysis.
Yes, first step is B, definitely.
So let's get into the project management framework. This is our agenda for normally it is meant for 4 days, but how we will do, you already have a schedule in your place. That schedule we will normally follow. It's the schedule which is provided to you is actually a broad schedule. We will try to follow that, but depending upon the need of all you people, and depending upon where we have to focus more, we may deviate from that particular agenda also, but we'll try to focus on that. The first step which come in this is the project and project management. And I would like to ask from you, what do you think, what is a project and what is project management? So first let's answer for what is project.
Project is basically
has a definite end result.
Yes, Shashank, go ahead.
Okay.
Project is something which has a definite end result.
Definite end results. Okay. Yes, Avdab.
Okay, project is something. It's some endeavor or some temporary phase where we try to achieve some result by doing that. We have an objective. We will try to meet that objective. So it's a temporary say, endeavor to achieve something.
Right.
Or to obtain something.
Yes. Okay, you have got something. You have studied little bit PM walk, right, or not? Okay, any other opinion? Any other opinion?
We can say that projects are temporary in nature and has a definite end result.
Okay, temporary in nature and definite end result. Both you are saying correctly. Any other opinion on this? So basically there are two major terms come in this. One is temporary and other is the unique output. So what is project? The project is simply a very simple term. The project is you have an objective and want to achieve in a limited time or within a specified time. You have an objective to achieve in a specified time. If that is the case, then you have a project. It can be smaller, it can be bigger, but all the projects are like that. You have to achieve an objective in a limited time. And that's make it temporary, because it's starting, you have a specified time in your mind, so that make it temporary because it's going to end, and you have an objective, which that objective, because it's an objective because it is not being done so far, so therefore it comes as unique in this case. So temporary and the unique. So either it could be a product, it could be a service, or it could be a result. So normal projects, normally you have projects in your IT or any other place, there is a product. In a construction project, building is a product. In an IT project, there is an IT product. It could be a service. You can do some work for other person. Somebody has come to you, say, I want to come, I have a lot of stuff with me, can you do accounting for me for this particular stuff? Can you do accounting for me for attach with me and continue doing my accounting? No, that is a kind of operation. But if he brings some with some expenses and some earnings and say, can you do accounting for this? Then it become a project. Maybe you can agree upon that you can do this in 1 month or something. Then it becomes a kind of service. Somebody asks you to maintain your software for a specific number of issues, then it is a project. But if it is a continuous thing that you maintain my software for next 5 years, no, we will not call it as a project. Though in IT company, even that is called a project, but that is in generic terms. When we talk about as specific terms, that may be a kind of operation. It could be a result. Result is normally because of the research. So you are doing some research and you will produce, what you produce is the results. Nowadays in India, I think for a couple of more than almost an year, we are seeing continuous elections here and there. So every election is followed by a exit poll, or pre-election there is some opinion poll. So they are also projects, and what is the outcome? The outcome is the result of those surveys which are done, right? And they are very, very temporary, very small project, very few days projects, and especially exit poll is definitely only a few days project as such, right? So one thing important that it should be unique and it should be temporary. Means unique means it has not happened earlier. Now if I say, if you have a product to roll out for a customer A and the same product you have to roll out for customer B, and both A and B don't need any kind of customization, you say whatever you have, just install it on in my premise or in my computer. Are they two projects?
Yes.
Then how they are unique?
I don't think that's a project, that's a task.
Okay, what is the difference between task and the project?
Task is it's like you ask that whatever I have on my computer, you just transfer it to B's computer, right?
No, I say you have an insurance product. And
yeah.
Somebody is approaching you and say install it in my office. I'm sure it will be a kind of 1 month job minimum.
No, but if it is taken as it is, I mean it's a let's say installable software on a CD, okay, like installing Microsoft Office on your desktop.
Oh, that may not be. I think it will be too small because it will finish in a couple of minutes actually.
Exactly. But if there is some kind of an analysis required, because analyzing the target platform and the business requirement, then it becomes a problem.
So let's understand it will take a month. So it becomes a sizable thing. But no customer
sizable thing.
Customer A and customer B both need out of the whatever the in the box, just in-box functionality. You say whatever product you have, just install me on my premises. Normally it takes 1 month to install such a software.
No, but in that case it's not unique, right?
Yes,
so it will not be a project.
Right?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Amitabh.
Yeah, I believe it's still a project. Even if the customer is asking for this, what the example which you have taken, I still believe it is a project. It's not a unique in the sense like say I'll give an example, like we are creating buildings.
Right.
Now it's not like even though there are so many buildings we are making up, each one is a project in itself.
Right.
So it's not like what we are saying unique means the thing which has been done is not repeated in this world. It's not possible actually. What we are saying is unique for that customer. He has something which is unique for that customer, and we are giving him that thing which he's not having, and we are.
My question is
giving that result of
constructing two identical buildings. Two buildings of 10 floors. They are identical in nature. There is no difference between their deliverables. Are they two projects or they are one project?
They are two projects.
The project. Are you repeating the project or it is a different project?
A different project.
It's a different project. If we are having it for it's a different project.
So how it is unique?
I think I think it is only one project.
Means you are repeating the project.
And I'll tell you. I'll give you an example if you like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Give example.
Yeah. The example is, let's say you take an example of a building, right? I don't know, name a builder, whoever, DLF or they call they have a society complex and they probably have 5 towers, right, and each one of them have the same configuration, everything.
Right.
So that particular complex is called one project.
Okay.
And it may have 10 towers.
Okay.
Okay. But each one of those towers are not different projects. They are part of the same project because they are not unique. The towers are not unique.
No, I give you an example. I give you an example this way. You are the constructor. You construct your builder. A person asks you to build a building, and the B also asks you to construct another building with the same configuration. Will there be two projects or same project?
In that case,
this will be the two projects.
In that case, it will be two projects. If there are two people asking for this.
If there are two people asking, then it is there are two projects. Is this what you're saying?
Yes.
But what is unique about deliverables?
Actually, nothing.
Unique about deliverables will be whatever. It's not necessary that whatever A is looking for, the same output B is looking for. There can be some changes.
Exactly. So this is great.
Maybe if you take the construction, A wants to give some lift facility to this. B budget will be low. They don't want lift into their apartment. So something different between the two projects is there. Even if it's construction of 10 towers or whatever it is, will have some uniqueness among these two.
Right. The thing is that uniqueness, what I was actually trying to clarify here, uniqueness does not mean only deliverables. Uniqueness with respect to the purpose. Is this solving the same purpose? So for customer A and customer B, because they are customer, same product going to customer A and customer B, because they are two different people, they will be looking for different things. And therefore there are two customers, there are two projects. Now another thing which is involved in that stakeholders are different. And therefore their takeaways are different, their contribution is different. And therefore uniqueness is just not about the deliverables. Uniqueness is also about what problem you are solving, where are you solving, who is solving the problem, to whom. So your team can be different, your customers who is taking away, that is different, his purpose could be different, right? The location is different, the affected people are different. So people are very much part of the uniqueness. Customer is very much part of the uniqueness. Your team is also very much part of the uniqueness. It's just not about deliverables.
Okay.
Right? So even if you have exactly implementing the same thing for two people, but because they are two people, they may be solving their different purpose. And uniqueness is just not about deliverables. What is project management? What is project management?
It is how you plan plan for your project to meet the desired output or result.
Okay. How do you plan to get the output? Okay. Planning. What else?
It's basically okay how you plan and how you execute it, and how you as a part of execution, and how you finally give the end result, so that we see whether the purpose for the project is met as per the customer requirements. So monitoring that also.
So how do you execute and how do you plan so that intended result can be taken? Okay, so what more about it?
And I think it's plan, scope, schedule, delivery, and of course execution.
Okay, so let me ask, this is great. Let me ask you what is not there in the project management, in the project? Look at the project, any project, whatever you are doing. What is not part of the project management? Oh, I say what activity is not project management?
Operations.
Operations come after project is over. In the project.
Or a repetition of same activities.
Okay, repetition of the same activities, but
Is it
that happen in the project?
That happens in a project. Repetition happens in every project.
Like, give an example.
Like even the building example that you gave. I mean, essentially you are making a building. You are doing the same thing, the same brick and mortar.
But they are project.
That is repetition. Yeah.
I'm saying in the project, which activities are not project management? We cannot say this activity is a project management activity.
is it? 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 I believe before initiating the project or doing the project management, it is important we agree on the scope. So scope is freezed basically.
But the scope is very much
So
part of
we
the
don't have
project
to.
management. I say,
Yeah, that's what. So it's,
let's talk about after initiating and before closing. Well within the project.
I think all of them are part of project management. Planning, executing, monitoring, and control.
Okay, great. Tell me, is the coding project management?
Coding is not. Coding is a part of execution.
But coding is project management.
Coding is not project.
How many people in the projects are doing project coding?
A lot of people do it, but
More than
project manager may or may not do coding. That is optional.
Yeah. So I'm just asking, in a project, what activities are not project management? So coding is one. In a construction,
Not.
is what the mason and the labor are doing is, or the supervisor may be doing some project management, but what the mason and the labor are doing, like putting brick over the brick, putting the RCC in place, is that project management?
No, that is not project.
How much efforts are going into these activities?
A lot of effort.
Considerable, more than 50%.
Yes.
In fact, suppose architect is building the architecture. Is the architecture a project management activity?
No.
What type of activity?
That is only planning.
Yeah, architecture is what type of activity is this? It's a technical activity, right?
That's technical activity.
If you see broadly, you can divide the activities in the project into project management and the technical. Activities are either management activities or the technical activities, correct? Can we divide like that?
Yes.
So like architecture, design, construction, testing, deployment, commissioning. Commissioning could be considering some part of management. Like in the coding, construction is coding, testing, unit testing, design is also there, architecture is there. They are technical activities, right? In a 10 people project, suppose there are 10 people in the project. How many project managers you are expecting? One, right? So how much, if I say percentage distribution of technical and project management activities, what do you think will be there? Percentage distribution, if I say that what percentage are technical activities and what percentage of management activities, what do you think this percentage will be?
I think it will be 90-10.
It will be somewhat 90-10. Probably besides project manager, some project leads, technical leads and other people are also contributing some part of project management, right? Leading the team, taking some meetings, planning, doing some contribution in some planning. Right? Maybe 80% maximum. Sorry, 20% maximum management activity. Somewhat between 10 to 20. Right? That is the area where the project manager has to focus. Because with the surveys it is identified, it is discovered, it is known that only this 20% have 80% of the problems. Your 20% problems are there in this 80% of the technical stuff. Most of the problems are there in managing the things. If you focus on this 20% project management, then there is a fair chances that your 80% go very smoothly. In the middle of the project, if you find, when you are in full execution, if you find that architecture was not right, will you blame it to architect or will you blame it to project manager?
Architect.
Architect.
Project manager.
Who brings the architect?
Resources are planned by project manager only.
Bringing resources, who's responsible?
When the project is in place and it's already ongoing, any gaps whatsoever is the failure of the project manager.
I say,
I think see, a project manager with architect.
who brings the architect? Project manager or somebody else?
Project manager is the one who plans the resources for the project.
Or manage the resources or bring the resources or exit the resources also.
Yes.
Is that right? Then who is ultimately responsible then?
Project manager only.
What project manager didn't do, he couldn't identify that this architect which he has bought is not having the capabilities, probably, who can build the right architecture for this project. There will be gaps. There are gaps in the knowledge of architect. He didn't identify those gaps and therefore he didn't do anything to fill those gaps. He would have provided support of some more senior person. He would have thought of some more expert person. If expert person is not available, support from the expert person. He would have provided training if these two things are not available. There are many options which can be done to fill the gaps. Or if nothing can be done, then at least you have identified this as a risk. Boss, we need.
But one question here.
Yes.
Yeah, basically how the project manager will know whether this architecture is capable of or not, because we have to go into technical details for that. A project manager, how he will have an idea or how he will say if something is very technical, how you know whether this person is capable of handling that or not.
Okay. So how do you hire?
What are the indications?
How do you hire resources? Just like anything? Or you don't check if the person will be able
No.
to do the job?
Hiring resources is one thing. Hiring resources is one thing. We will have, say, we have taken the technical into everything. Now the architecture is hired. Okay. So we have hired the architecture as per the process, having the technical into of the things. But anyway, there are complexities. There are, even you are having a technical resource, it's not that he can handle all the things. Or when he was hired, he was having some, based on that, he has certain capabilities. Now, the project on which he was working, he may have certain additional capability required, or there are certain things for which project manager may not be aware of. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, then what will happen?
Correct, but
then what will happen?
But if
tell me what will happen then?
So
you will face problem.
There is a risk involved here, correct?
You will face problem in the project.
It will face,
yeah.
Right? It will escalate
So
to
this
time and
risk-
cost.
correct.
Who will be fired?
and this exactly.
Who will be fired?
No. So my question is not okay about the result. What I'm saying is, what are the things which the project manager has to, how he will identify whether this technical stuff, because it's more of a technical stuff. So how will he identify whether this technical stuff, say, because he has already done this architecture thing and he has put in place. Now whether that is having certain problems or not, project manager may not know, correct? Unless there are some issues which will come up.
Yeah, I agree with you, Amitabh, that this is what you are saying is right. But the thing is that project manager should be intelligent enough to know that he has the right resource on the project or not. If he is not, he has to find resources who can verify this. If he is going casual, then it is going to impact the project. Ultimately, who owns the project? Not the architect. It's the project manager who owns. So he has to find means to find out that this architect is really capable of which is required for this project. He has to get help from external, internal, outside, inside, left, right, up, down. And if he is not, he should be ready for the problems. And that's what happens. That's what happens. So he has to find means. What the project manager's job is primarily is to find means. If somebody is facing problems, some your resource is facing technical problems, you don't know that technical stuff. Will you say, I cannot do anything? No. You will go there, you will say, okay, what kind of thing is that? You try to understand what he is looking for. Then you try to find a resource who can help this person. Yeah, and then make that resource available to this person. You cannot help him, but you can find a resource who can help him. That's what the project management is.
Just to give you an example, Amitabh, in my company we have a project manager. He's purely non-technical, but the guy is so good at managing. When we first came to know that he will be managing our project, it was a global project, and we were like, wow, he doesn't have any technical skills. How will we help? How can he help? Because he himself doesn't know stuff. But this man asked questions, right? Like, how is 1 + 1 2? So which we at times can laugh. What is he asking about? But this man was literally asking so deep inside that then you come to know that, okay, boss, maybe galat ho. Shayad I am not doing it the right way. And then he pitches in other team members, asks their views, and at the end of the day he says, okay, you are doing something which I believe is not right, but this team member can help you. So he puts together 2 of the team members and then, okay, you do this work. So probably he doesn't know technical, but the way he manages things, asking questions to not even to, if it's not IT, he goes above and asks somebody who has already worked in the project to get their views. Maybe somebody has worked on a similar project, so he asks for their views and then comes there, okay, this is what was done last time. Can we do this the same time? Can we do the same this time as well? And then he comes up with a plan. So probably that's what Vivek is trying to say. Being a project manager doesn't mean that I should be dependent only on the resource. It's my job as a project manager to learn from past experiences, learn from my superiors, learn from my colleagues, and then come to a plan.
Actually, the thing is that the project manager has to bring resources. If the resource is not capable, then bring a higher resource. Help to the resource. These are also, help is also a resource, to resource. So actually what project manager is doing, that if there is understand the bottlenecks, understand the gaps, understand the issues, he may not be able to solve them, but he can always reach out to the people, he can always find some other people, who can always find some resources, who can help in managing these issues. But the problems comes when we fail to identify those issues. I say, that's what I'm saying, this 20% is very dangerous. This 80% will go for good if this 20% is managed. And you know, this 35 hours we are going to focus on this 20%.
Okay. I understand what all you are saying. My question was coming from another perspective. Actually. Mm-hmm. What I was saying, if you have what I'm trying to say is, okay, what you all said is a jada normal thing. It's fine. Right. That is how it has to be taken care of. I agree. Yes. What I was saying is, say the job, say it is actually why I raised this question is basically based on the example which I have given for the architecture. Say he has given that now the architecture has given his solution. Okay?
Correct.
And there is no problem as such which has been raised during that, and project manager, because things were going smoothly, project manager doesn't. One thing is there are issues and he's not able to solve. He's not able to solve. Then okay, then project manager becomes aware. Okay, and he can get the help from outside over.
Right.
Now the thing is, technically he has delivered the result. Technically the architecture has, but the solution was not the correct one. But that's what I'm trying to say. Now the solution has been delivered, but there are certain glitches and there are some problems. Now what I'm trying to say is, now project manager, once the architecture has delivered a solution, project manager himself will not validate that solution, okay, as such. Now once that we start implementing, then their problems comes up because the solution was not proper, and the project manager are not aware because the solution was already delivered till now everything was fine.
Correct. That I agree with you.
So that is the situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. Your point is absolutely valid, and that's why we normally keep reviews in that, because reviews are done by some more expert person, inappropriate persons, and that's what the project manager should do actually. So he has to validate things from the other people, that whatever getting produced is also right. That is called quality. Moreover, we can keep discussing this, because this is what the core of the project management. We have started the discussion actually.
Yeah.
So that's what we will be.
Correct. Actually, what is happening right now in actually why the general practice which we are having is, in a project we have generally one architecture or say group of architecture which they give the solution, and generally in most of the projects which I see, there is no there is a certain validation, but not at that level to see, because the architecture team only has given the solution, so, or whatever the person who is working on that. Generally, we don't do that. Validation stuff is not happening that much.
That is
to validate the whole architecture. We review that. Yeah, so that's okay.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. This is the we have triggered the discussion, and this discussion actually we have to carry on with throughout this program. I think we need to get into deeper into this kind of discussion actually. Great. So let's go on how because the projects are inherently complex. Our project manager's primary job, which I think, is to simplify things, and to simplify they need to break down into a proper, or actually structure them in a proper way. And to structure them in a proper way, there is one thing which two more terms will come into picture, is called portfolio and the program. Now, what is a program and what is the portfolio? They are group of projects. The program is a group of projects. Like project can also be a group of projects, group of sub-projects. Like we say, there are 5 buildings in a complex. So we can consider every building as a sub-project or a phase. It depends upon what terminology we use. So it could be 5 sub-projects. It could be a 1 project. It could be a program also. It depends upon that how we trying to organize or what is our real intention is. So we normally club projects together either in the form of programs or in the form of portfolio. So when it is called program and when this grouping is called portfolio, we need to understand the objective of this. So what is the objective of program? The objective of the program is to bring projects together which have something in common. Like these projects are being done for the same client. These projects are using the same technology. These projects can share resources, same resources, probably technical skills. Why? What is the benefit? Collectively managing these projects together will become more efficient than managing them separately, because there is something common in them. So when the 3 projects are there for same client, you can bring them together, and you will find that it is much easier to manage them together because you have better knowledge about the client. If client tomorrow says start another project, for this group it becomes much easier to start a new project because you need not to learn about the client, you already know about it. With the same technology, with the same technical skills, you can share the resources among these projects. So the objective of the program is to bring projects together for a more efficient execution. While the portfolio does not look for efficiency. Portfolio, the idea of the portfolio to meet a organization objective. So portfolio is normally created to address organization objective or achieve an organization objective. What is that? That suppose our organization has found that we need to penetrate into new market this time. So maybe let's say telecom. So we want to get into telecom, and we should by the end of the year we should get 10% market share or say 5% market share. Now this become an organization objective. Now what they do, they create a portfolio for addressing this objective or meeting this objective, and that we can call telecom group, something like that, telecom group. Now what this telecom group will do, it will find out all the projects in the organizations that are addressing that are servicing the telecom clients and bring them together. Now when they bring them together, there is a possibility that few projects will be working for a specific client in telecom. So that program will also come under portfolio. So this program along with these projects will come under portfolio. So portfolio can have projects as well as program. Some project could be independent, they will be servicing only one client or one technology, something like that, but they are not grouped so far. But they come under portfolio because they are catering to telecom industry. When a new project is started, if it is for the telecom industry, it will come under this portfolio and the new projects will start. Now what is the advantage? Advantage is that all putting together, or even sub portfolio we can create under it, we can identify are we achieving our objective or not. So the idea of portfolio is to achieve organization objective, and this more efficiency. The program is for better efficiency and portfolio to achieve an organization objective. Is that clear? Anybody has any kind of question on this? Basically this is grouping, but because their aims, their goals are different, therefore we call them different, we are giving them different names. The program, if the objective is achieve better efficiency, portfolio when the objective is to achieve an organization objective. Right? There is something called project management office. Let's do one thing actually. It is 8:50 right now in my clock. Is there a good time to take a break?
Yes.
Okay. Take it at 9.
Sorry? Take it at 9?
It's already.
Okay, let's discuss for 10 minutes more minutes, and we will take it at 9. That will be also be fine. Let's take it at 9. Okay, so there is a project management office. Can you give me some idea, what do you think a project management office is? You might have seen project management office in your offices or in other offices also. Anyone?
Project management office is actually a team of members who are there to support the project in any form.
Okay. Anyone else?
I want to elaborate it more, Vivek.
Yeah.
Support in any form means helping the project manager to identify resources if required.
Mm-hmm.
Then preparing the templates for mapping or monitoring the project progress.
Okay, right.
Then trying to implement the best practices to make the project successful.
Mm-hmm. Sharing best practices among the projects.
Yeah, projects.
Right. So building templates.
Yeah, actually,
Building templates,
yeah, to
guidelines.
say project management office is basically a counterpart of project manager to manage the entire project.
Right.
Wherever it goes wrong or any help, any support that is needed.
Yeah. Management of the project is project manager's job. PMO does not manage the project.
Correct.
But PMO facilitate. So PMO can facilitate by providing templates, guidelines, directions, methodology, various tools and techniques, right? Some sharing best practices, helping them reporting the project or reporting themselves to the project about the status of the project, monitoring the projects. If the matter is, if they see that the project is not going the right direction, then intervening in the project and asking project manager to take action. If the project manager doesn't take action, then escalating the matter to the higher authorities. If they find some issues, then discussing in the common forum, highlighting some common issues among the projects. So these are all the responsibility of a PMO. But there are different type of PMO called supportive, controlling and directive. But my opinion is that it is PMO is mainly supportive. We call it controlling and directive in case the PMO is also having a lot of some authority on controlling the project and stopping the project or something like that. Or directing when it can take control of the project. But that rarely happens. We can say, but I'm really not sure if such a PMO really exists. Probably there will be, I don't know, but I see the project PMO is a basically a support organization, a support group in the organization that helps project managers to manage the projects in terms of facilitating, in terms of reporting, in terms of monitoring, in terms of highlighting issues, in terms of sharing best practices, in terms of bringing new tools and techniques, escalating the matter and seeing that the project should go into the line it's supposed to go. But ultimately action is to be taken by the delivery organization, which is not PMO. PMO is outside of delivery organization, that is project manager, project managers, managers. So one of them, he can escalate the matter, but he cannot take action. When it can take actions, then it could be fall into controlling and directive, but I think that rarely happens. So that is what PMO is normally. So what PMO's responsibility is normally? Manage shared resources, helping with the policies, procedures, templates, ensuring compliance. Many times the getting certifications also of the processes, coordinating communication among the projects, building new methodology, bringing new tools and techniques, revising best practices, revising standards, revising the policies, procedures. Now we have discussed about the operations. Mainly what is the difference between project and operation? The operations are ongoing and there is no unique output. When we say there is a first, we can say the projects, let's project of building a new, suppose there is a, you have come out with a new software or new construction building. So once the building is ready or once the software is ready, what next happens? So it is when the project comes to the closure, these outcome of the projects are transitioned to operational group. That a building goes to the maintenance team, a software goes to the production support team or maintenance team, right? Or a product which is in a manufacturing industry, when a product comes, it goes to the production team which produce things, right? If there is some new laptop has been launched by Dell, so it is a first time it will be a project to bring a new laptop with a specific requirements, and then once the project is complete, it goes to the production which will produce the same laptop again and again. So uniqueness is lost, because if I have a Dell XPS, so I say Dell XPS is different than, so one day this Dell XPS was first product, so that was the project, but after that Dell is producing several XPS products. So when the XPS product means you pick up any such laptop, your purpose will be solved because it is Dell XPS. So therefore the uniqueness is lost, and that is also not known when it is going to end. The great thing about the project is that when the project is started, it has an end date in mind, that by when we need to achieve the outcome. What next thing which is important here is that how organization structure influence the execution of the project, and which is like the organization culture, style, vision, the way they work, the way they are structured there, that is actually influence greatly how the projects are planned and executed in the organization. So what is the organization culture? What is the vision of the organization? What is the main objective? What is the goals of the organizations? How the policies, method and procedures are implemented in the organizations? What level of discipline is there? What kind of risk tolerance is there? You take only those projects, if the risk tolerance is low, you take only those projects where you are safe actually. And you have to execute in that manner only. What kind of leadership is there? What kind of structure is there? What kind of environment it is providing for so the person when change the organization from one organization to another organization, you will see that this person start working in a very different manner, and that is because the culture of the organization or the way the organization was working, previous organization was working, the new organization is very different from that, and therefore the person when changes the organization, his working style also changes. Okay, so let's take a break and come back here, because this the organization structure influence on the project after this, right? So it is 9 o'clock in my watch, and then we can meet at 9:30.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's pause here. You need not to exit the meeting as such. You can just keep yourself muted and leave the computer or laptop and then come again in half an hour. Right? We'll resume at 9:30. So please be here before 9:30 or before half an hour past. Okay. So let's look into the organizational culture, etc., way of thinking, the leadership thing, etc., plays a significant role. But what plays the very significant role in executing the project is the organizational structure. And organizations normally found either they are functional or they are projectized on one side and on the other side on the projectized. What is functional organizations? Functional organizations are basically focus on one function at a time. Means there are groups, so it is grouped or it is structured in functions. So the groups are formed to do a specific work in a specific direction. For example, a pharma company. Normally a pharma company has groups in a specific area of research, because in pharma there is a production, there is a R&D. So in production is one of the group. In the R&D, which is the one of the thing which for generating revenue, that bringing new medicines, those are also structured in different themes and different structure, different directions or technology. Now, if I say if I look into a software company, if I say you have a group of only Java, you have a group of .NET, you have a group of business analyst, you have a group of project manager, you have an administrative group, you have a vendor management group. So these are various functions in an organization. So if you talk about any manufacturing units, in manufacturing units there is an R&D team, there is a production team, there is a marketing team, there is a customer support team, there is an administrative team. These are functions as such. Now, when you are in a specific function, in a functional organization, you remain in that function and continue grow in that. So that will become a home for the resource. Any resource join the organization, that function in their function, it becomes a home for that. The people can change the function, but then they become part of the other function. Now on the other side, in a projectized organization, there is no such thing like you are part of marketing team, or you are part of the, like say, any specific area. You are business analyst, or you are project manager, or you are a .NET resource, you are Java resource, or there are no group such like that. The only group there is a project. So in the projectized organizations, the people come together for executing a project. So suppose there is a software project need to be executed, and it requires some database expert, it requires some Java expert, it required some business analyst, required a project manager, some testers. Then these people will come together from a pool of resources, pool of available resources. They come together, that will form a group to execute this project. As soon as this project is over, so that as soon as this project is over, this team will go away. So there is a large pool of resources of all sort of skills and technologies and things. When a new project comes, the few people join this project, do this project from initiation to the closure. Once it closes, these people go back to main group. This is the pool where the available resources are available. And another projects come, then the required people come on this. While in the functional organization, there is a specific technology. If I say, if a software, let's take an example of software company. A software company, then this group is of Java, this group of .NET, this group is of project managers, this group of business analysts, something like that. So if any work comes to for business analyst, it goes to business analyst. If any work comes for project manager, then it goes to project manager. If any software comes, any sub development comes for Java development and Java development comes, then the group called database. Any database related things come, then it goes to database unit. But most of the software projects are not like that. They are normally required skills from this, and this, or this. And therefore, most of the project or the software organizations are not functional organizations. Normally, small startups, they start with the projectized organization where they get just people. They never segregate. They do not have any kind of such functions. They only have one group where the free pool is available, and whenever the projects are required, these people come from there. As the organization grow, it moves in this direction. It becomes they start making functions. While in the functional organization, many times there are projects. So in a functional organization, there are projects required. What is the project? Projects required skills from different groups. Now, if it is a Java oriented project, then what will happen in a functional organization? The people from Java, the manager, the functional manager of Java, the functional manager of Java will become or assume responsibility of project management or say coordination. And this organization start moving in this direction, become a weak matrix. What is a matrix organization? Which has a flavor of functional and projects, both. So these organizations have been like, they are functions also, like a typical large software company like Infosys, Wipro and other companies. They are something like, they are groups like database, the groups like Java, the groups like business analyst, there is a group like PM, and maybe other. So they have a functional influence. They have functions. They have functions. So people, normally resources belong to either database group or Java group or business analyst group, PM group. But they earn their revenue by executing projects, because there is no project which is only database. There is no project only Java. There is no project only BA can do. So they earn their bread and butter comes from projects, and when a projects come, a PM come from a PM group, a business analyst come from business analyst group, few of the Java experts come from Java group, and few database experts come from database group, and they form this project. And what will happen? But these resources, though they are reporting to project manager here now, but they still belong to their own group. So here functional manager also, they report to project manager during this project, and also report to functional manager. When the project's over, they go back to their function back and report to functional manager. Their appraisal, etc., career growth, etc., are done by functional manager. What is the functional manager's job? Functional manager's job to build expertise. So that person's job is to build the technical skills of this resource here and provide technical consultancy to these projects at a higher level. So what happens in this, this becomes a challenging situation, because the functional manager's main outcome or achievement also come from how these people are helping the project assets, because revenue is coming from projects. So how they are helping this project manager, how much influence they have in the project, that's what their appraisals also happen. And therefore in the same project, project manager has stake, also a functional manager has stake. Many number of stakeholders increase, and therefore the communication becomes complex. It becomes a matrix organization. We normally call matrix organization, where every projects have project management stream and the functional management stream. Functional manager and project manager both have their takeaways from the same project. People here, when the projects happen in the functional organization, people contribute to the project, but they stay here. They stay here, from there they contribute to the project. But here in the balanced matrix organization or matrix organization, the resources come here. They report to project manager. Their reporting to a functional manager doesn't cease as such. They're reporting to both. So they are dual reporting. But in this case, their reporting here is not to project manager. In fact, there is no project manager. The only project manager is the coordinator basically, who is the functional manager of the stream where majority of the stake of the project exists. So in the functional manager, the project manager does not have much authority because resources belong to their own group, and when it comes to project manager asking them to do something, if they have a conflict or they have a challenge, then they focus more on their functional work than the project work. Similarly, resource availability is less because resources committed to their function, less committed to the project. Who controls the budget? There's functional manager, one of the functional manager who is leading the project. Project manager role is part-time because the functional manager's role doesn't change. He is doing his functional work along with the project. The project management responsibility is normally a additional responsibility. So from the project manager point of view, functional manager point of view also, his first priority is his function and second priority is the project. So project coordinator is also part-time and not fully committed to the project. Administrative staff, yes, this is also, and the communication is streamlined because there is only one way to communicate. So therefore here the function flourish but project suffers. In the weak organization, it is more towards function. Here little more authority to functional manager, but he is still a coordinator. The authority of project manager is little more than this, but it is little limited. He cannot really force the resources to commit to the project. He ultimately had to pursue the functional manager to get the resources. His job is part-time and start getting little complex because he has to coordinate with, he has got some authority. So functional manager has the authority, project manager also has the authority, therefore the situation becomes complex. Here both have equal things. So the two people coming into the same place and their teams coming in the same project trying to achieve something, and they have takeaway and contribution, the project becomes very complex, or communication project become complex, and the communication also become very complex. But people, project managers have complete authority on the people. Now here in the strong organization is more projectized, less functional. So it is only that in a projectized organization some groups are formed. So it becomes get a flavor of function, but they still work as a projectized organization. But to develop skills, they form some groups. Any question related to this?
I think it would be nice if we could give an example of these kind of organizations. They can be imaginary organizations, but can we have some examples?
Yeah, I say that if you look at Infosys, Wipro, real examples, they are balanced matrix organization. They earn their revenue by projects, but build expertise through functions. And when projects comes, these project managers request resources from the functions. And once the project closes, these people go back to their functions. Functional organization, your normal typical manufacturing units are normally functional organizations. Their R&D does project, but R&D is also a function. A typical projectized organization is a startup. Normally startup are projectized organization, especially IT startups.
Okay.
They get resources only for projects. If there is no project, if there is a project for a specific skill does not exist, either the person will be sitting in free pool, normally we call it free pool, right? So it will be without any work, or he will be cross-skilled, but there is no home for this person. So in a projectized organization, people, as soon as project come to the closure, they are always worried about their next assignment because they have to sit in the free pool otherwise. So their worry started even before the project come to closure. Their
But I'm just trying to place. I just would like to give one example. Yes. And through that example, I want to ask a question.
What is your? How is your organization?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to map my organization.
Yeah. So tell me.
As I said, that we specialize in software for the insurance industry.
Right. So it's a product-oriented organization. Hello, Vikas? Are you speaking? Unable to hear. Anybody is hearing? I'm not able to hear. Hello?
No, not able to hear him.
Nothing. Not able to hear.
Yeah, I think there's some problem. Oh, I think he is looking offline. I think there's some internet unstable. His internet is not so stable, looks like. Any other person has any question on this? Let him join back.
Yeah, Vivek, Amitav here.
Yes, Amita.
In this actually matrix, you have weak matrix, balanced, and the strong matrix. Correct? In the balanced matrix, you are saying the budget control is mixed. That means functional manager plus project manager do both have the control, or how it is?
1 minute. Yes.
The balanced matrix, who controls the project? It's a mixed thing. It's written, correct?
Right. I think I paused the screen and therefore whatever art I made you didn't see. Anyway, okay. So it's not a very so decent art also. Yeah, can you repeat your question? Amitabh, can you repeat your question?
Okay, what I'm saying is in the balance matrix.
Yeah.
You have. Okay. In the matrix, in the balanced matrix, who controls the project better? It is written that mixed. Correct.
Yes. Who controls the?
Can you explain, elaborate on this?
Who controls the?
Who? Project budget.
Yes.
Mixed, correct. So can you elaborate on this?
Yeah, mixed means it is limited to the, I think the functional and the project both are contributing to the budget. So some budget may be coming, some money come from the function, some money comes from the budget, the project group. So in such cases, the project group is also a function kind of things, but they do projects by having people from all the other functions. So in that case, the budget can be provided not only by the project team but also from their individual functions also, or the function that has a major contribution in this project, and therefore it could be mixed.
Okay.
So
generally our generally what type of companies, can you give me an example which having this type of thing?
See, there are, I tell you, one is normally the balance and strong matrix. Your Infosys is something, or the Wipro or some other Cognizant. These big IT companies are normally balance or strong matrix. In this case, see, here it is showing discrete things, but they are normally, they may be in between. So somewhat they will be like this, and somewhat they will be like this. So maybe a mix of it. Okay, there may be a balance or a strong matrix towards a strong matrix, but it will be balanced because they have structured that way. They have earning their revenue from the project, but they're building expertise in the function. So like here is this mix, but in these organizations it may not be mixed. It will be controlled by project manager only. So no organization you will find who will currently fit into one column. They may be overlapping to the other columns also. So some organization you may find like this. maybe find like this, something like that, something like this. This can happen.
Okay. Vivek, sorry, I got disconnected while I was trying to ask a question.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I was just trying to place my organization in this category.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Let me tell you, as I said that we do make software for the insurance industry, and it is mandatory from for our organization, for any developer or QA person or a project manager, whoever joins. It is mandatory that they undergo 1 week of insurance industry training.
Right.
Okay. We'll teach about the functional area of insurance business. Okay. So we would, our project manager would typically be, may or may not be a PMP, or at least a project management experience, and would have at least 1 or 2 industry certifications for insurance.
No, understand like this, because understand it like that. When a resource joins, where he goes, to whom he reports?
Yes.
To whom he reports? Suppose a developer joins, to whom he reports? First day or first month, whatever. Where he joins actually? In which group will be the owner of this new resource? Because looks like he's offline again. Yes. His net connection is not stable. Amitabh, you got it?
Yeah, but I still have one question. Like, in case sometimes what happens in organization, the budget is provided by the business, or the control over the budget is by the business, correct? In some cases.
Yes, but here the question is about, in the project, who will manage, who will control the budget? In the project, the budget is provided. Who will control?
Okay. Okay.
Mix means functional manager, project manager, both have the authority, or both will come together, agree upon, and then will manage the budget. Something like that, which could be very complex.
This could be very complex, and there may be some because both will have their own say on that.
Yes.
So that can be that basically. Then it will. In that case, if there is a conflict or some conflict of their interest, then how it will be resolved?
There is no chance of having agreement on all the things. There will be conflicts, and managing a project in a balanced matrix. If a project manager is able to manage successful projects in a balanced matrix, he becomes champion of project manager. At least he will become politician also.
Correct, it has to be.
Yes, it is a political scenario also in a balanced matrix. So often that. Let me replace Kejriwal. Okay, let's move on. When the Vikas will come, we will see his story also, in how his things will come. Okay, there are 2 things which come into picture again and again for rest of the processes. One is called organization process assets, and another is called enterprise environmental factors. So what is organization process assets? Whatever you see like procedures, templates, guidelines, historical data, old projects information, all these things are called process assets. Means assets which are related to the process, which help you to manage projects. You got it? Any guidelines which are written there, templates provided to you, some understanding provided to you, some old projects data is provided to you. These things are normally fall into process asset because they are related to process, and they are called asset because they normally facilitate. This is a different thing. They also impose constraint because Once the organization provide you guidelines, organization expect you to follow the guidelines. So it becomes a constraint also. While in the enterprise environment factor, it is not about any tangible item, it is mainly non-tangible, like social political scenario in the organization, the leadership in the organization structure, like metrics, projectize, functional, what is the tolerance level of a stakeholder with respect to the risk. Okay, what kind of project management system available to you? What are the policies of the organization? Not only that, it goes beyond that. What is the policies of the state in which the organization exists? What are the policies and the guide on the way of working in the country where this organization is situated or where the project is happening? Government policies in that particular country. The culture of that country, of that state, and of that organizations. So these are basically, if you see, they are non-tangible item impacting the project, and therefore they call enterprise environmental factor. While the process assets, process guidelines, process standards, standard guidelines, all these are called process assets. You will see in projects in various things what actually, when they say organization process, what specific is coming into this way. So project management plan template, so it is a process asset, right? Your stakeholder tolerance is very high with respect to risk. That is an enterprise environmental factor. Okay, because you are back, you were trying to like say something about your organization. So I was asking that when a resource joins your organization, where like which group it belongs to?
Actually, people are allocated to a product team.
Okay.
Okay, but developers can be interchangeable, but they have to. The mandatory requirement is that they have to know the ABCD of insurance business.
No. One thing, but Mike, just answer my question. Who owns that resource?
The product manager.
Product manager.
We don't call it a project manager. It's called a product manager.
Yes.
A product manager may manage one or more products.
Fair enough. So like you are a product manager, you need a resource. The resource will directly come to you.
Yes.
Okay. Now suppose tomorrow some changes happen in the project and you don't need a particular resource. You release him. Where he will go?
Yeah, it can go to some other project.
Okay, so your organization is a projectized organization because your resource is always in a project. If he is not in a project, nobody owns him, right?
Yeah, he is always in a project.
He is always in a project.
So we don't have a bench.
You don't have a bench. That is a good thing, but that is maybe you have structured that way. You have not a bench. You will pass him on to some other product manager. But the thing is that your organization is a project organization, projectized organization, because there is no other structure except projects.
Okay.
But there is an influence. Okay. There will be an influence of the functional, in the sense that you may be having a quality group separately.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
You may be having a human resource management group as well.
Yes.
Okay, you may be having some kind of PMO or some kind of group which can be helping across all the projects.
Yes, and we also have a technology group, for example.
You have a technology group also. So these are actually functions. They support projects, but they do not provide you resources.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are functions. So you are basically a very strong matrix. I will say not strong, even a very strong matrix.
Okay.
It is like that.
Okay.
Right? Now,
okay.
After this organization process and enterprise environment, we talk about stakeholders. So who is a stakeholder? Any idea who is a stakeholder? What is called an
the customers,
customer?
the vendors, the product team, the
If I ask you define in one line, who is the stakeholder? Like stakeholder definition, what do you say?
an interested party.
Some interested party, right? Any other input? Some party who has an interest in the project. In general, it will be a good definition, but because we are studying project management, I will say anyone who can contribute in the project or who has an takeaway from the project. Either he is contributing the project or who is looking for some takeaway from the project is a stakeholder. So anybody, Vikas, keep yourself muted when you are not speaking. Okay, so Shashank, you too. Okay, so when we talk about project stakeholders, anybody who is contributing to the project or who is getting impacted or who is looking for the outcome of the project, who is looking some outcome from the project is a stakeholder. We will study about a stakeholder, the full chapter is there. So we will look into this stakeholder little later about it. First, here we should understand that what is a stakeholder or who is actually a stakeholder. Now let's look at the project life cycle. Project life cycle is a very simple thing as such. You like by now you already be aware of this, that project start with the initiation, then goes to the planning, then execution. During planning and execution, it goes through the monitoring and control also, but that is an overlapping phase, and then it goes to the closure. So at the time of initiation, the staffing level is very low and therefore the cost is very low. Only few people are there to initiate the project. Basically, we are conceptualizing the project. As we start planning, the more people come on board. During execution, majority of the team is there on the project, or all the people whom we have required are there on the project. And then when it comes to the closure, the staffing level comes down fast. It creates a bell curve which is backloaded. Bell curve, and bell curve, what is actually this tummy shows that when staffing level is high, that means when the staff is high, the cost is high. So most of the area under this line is showing the how much money or cost how much money we are spending in this. So you can easily assume that most of the money is getting spent during the execution. Yes, Manoranjan, you have any question?
No, sorry.
Yes. Okay. Initially, the stakeholder influence is high. They can change anything. It is easier to change in the beginning. Therefore, their influence is high. Project also, because you know little about the project, the uncertainty level is high. As you move on, the project unfolds, the uncertainty level start coming down. Because the cost of changes increases, because you start building new things, you have planned, you are developing something, the cost of change increases because you need to rework. Initially, if you change something, because you have not developed anything, the cost of change will be low. But if you have developed something, then you have to work on whatever you have developed, and therefore cost of the change increases. And this may be contributing in the reducing the stakeholder influence. And uncertainty is very high in the beginning because you know little about the project. As soon as you move into the project, get to know more and more, uncertainty level comes down. The project normally done in phases, and what you are seeing is one phase. And so if there is a single phase project, it goes through this cycle. it start initiating. Initiating means we are conceptualizing what exactly we need in this project. Then we plan out, we try to put up a plan, action items which help us to produce what we have conceptualized. Then we execute those what we have planned, and then in that we move into monitoring. When we say monitoring, we are comparing plan versus actual. And if there is a variance, then we work to reduce the variance. So controlling is taking action to reduce the variance or eliminating the variance. This controlling may lead to change in the plan, and then change the plan, then we have to execute as per the change plan, and therefore this circular loop you see. So it is not a planning is not a one-time activity, execution is not one time, monitoring, control, they are going into circular motion. So for a period, whatever you have planned, you execute, you verify that everything is happening fine. It could be a PDCA cycle also. Once this happens throughout the project, when project deliveries are complete, then we move into closure, where in the closure we take the sign off from the customer or the receiving party. We document the lesson learned and pass on or transition the outcome of the project, that is the product of the project, to the next phase, that is the operation. So this is a single phase project if there is only one single phase, but normally projects are not single phase, projects are multi-phase. Like normally projects are done like gathering requirements, developing architecture and design, doing construction, verification, deployment, something like that. You will see each phase goes through this cycle. Each phase goes through. Every phase has an initiation process. That means have an entry criteria. Entry criteria, and there is a closing process which ensures the exit criteria. And therefore you see there is some check happen before next phase starts. What is these checks called? Either they called phase exits, phase gates, decision gates, stage gates, kill points. They are the name of the same thing. That is actually a check which is checking that sufficient outcome are there from the previous phase and entry criteria of next phase is met. Entry criteria of next phase is met, so that next phase can be started. So these things actually to check that entry criteria of next phase is met and the exit criteria of the previous phase is met. Now this may also not be so practical. The first thing may also not be so practical. This is normally a more practical way of executing project, where the closing process of the previous phase and the initiation process of the next phase normally overlaps. When we see there is a significant development has happened in the previous phase and we have things which can meet the entry criteria of the next phase, we start the next phase even before first phase closes. Okay, because the entry criteria of the next phase is ready or can be met, therefore we start the next phase. There is some overlapping happen, though there is some risk involved in it, but normally people do this way because it saves time. So therefore, when we move from one phase to another phase, these kind of checks are very important, so that we should not get stuck in the future, in the upcoming phases, and we are sure that we will be doing well. So,
one thing.
yes.
In that previous diagram which you have shown, here you are saying the overlapping phase generally which you are following.
Yeah.
So in the overlapping, generally it's a more practical scenario which is happening. We still do all these checks, correct?
Yes, yes.
The decision gates and all these criteria are still valid.
All these means they are name of the same thing. Basically, we are checking that exit criteria of the previous phase met before we close the previous phase, and entry criteria of the next phase should meet before we start the next phase.
No, what I'm saying is, yeah, they are the same things. What I'm saying is the exit criteria of the previous phase, because the previous phase is still not fully closed, correct? So that is we need to take a call at what point in time we can check the exit criteria from the first phase.
Yes.
Because otherwise there is a certain risk involved where we can have the outcome from the previous phase we will not be able to determine fully.
Yes, you may be right. So this is right, that you may that there is sometimes there is a call that even if fully entry criteria is not met, maybe it's 80% met, then in that case you can decide that okay, go ahead, 10-20% will also can be met. So exit criteria phase decision gates are basically to check can we start the next phase or not. So many times it can be a call also, many times it could.
So other formalities like we can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, what we have to see is the criteria. Once we are able to establish the criteria, we should move on, leaving behind all the if there are any formalities sort of thing for closing the process that can be handled this parallelly.
Yes. Yes. Correct. Now we have project management processes. As we just saw, the PMI has grouped all the 47 processes in 5 process group and 10 knowledge areas. So 5 process groups are initiating processes, planning processes, executing processes, monitoring control processes, and the closing process. So what is initiating processes? Basically the processes which are required to initiate a project, they are grouped under initiating process. The processes which are required to plan a project are grouped into planning processes. The process of execution are grouped into execution. The process of monitoring and controlling are grouped into monitoring and control, and the process of closing the projects are grouped into closing processes. They normally interact like this. So initiating process start as soon as the project start, and it closes after some time. As soon as the project initiation start, you see the controlling part of the project starts. Okay, so monitoring and control, if you see, it starts from very beginning and goes up to the end. And planning process start after some time of initiating process, and when we come to the closure, normally planning process finishes and execution starts when we have some kind of planning in place and we are in the position to execute, and that goes till the closing process is almost matured. So this is a broader interaction among them, how they overlap to each other basically. Now one side we have process groups, on the other side the same 47 processes are grouped under 10 knowledge areas. So there are processes related to integration management, the process to manage scope management, time management, cost, resource, communication, quality, procurement, risk, whatever. Are you able to see the picture of 10 knowledge areas?
No. Okay.
Now? Okay. Now you are able to see, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the 47 processes, one side grouped into in the process groups. The other side, they are grouped into knowledge areas. We call them knowledge areas. The process related to integration management, scope management, time management, cost management, resource management, communication, quality, procurement, risk. And therefore they cross each other actually. Something like this. So here the columns are process groups and rows are knowledge areas. So the develop project charter is an initiating process belong to project integration. Develop project management plan is a planning process belong to integration management. Collect requirement is a planning process belong to scope management. Estimate activity duration is a planning process belong to time management. Acquire project team is a executing process group belong to human resource management. Controlling the communication is a monitoring and control process belong to communication management. The control risk is a monitoring control process belong to risk management. Procurement closure is a close procurement is a process belong to closing process and part of the procurement group, project management. This way the process groups and knowledge areas, they create a matrix, and whatever the number of processes you are seeing, they are total 47. So every process belong to one process group and one knowledge area. Here also there is a matrix structure, and therefore it is a bit complex, and therefore we need such kind of trainings. So if we look into initiating process, there are only two processes in the initiating. First, we develop a charter which guide the project, the total project, and second is, once we develop the project charter, we identify stakeholders, that who are the stakeholders for the project, so that we can appropriately plan their engagement. The planning process is the most crowded one. In fact, that is what is required, and in fact that is what the problem in most of the project. Planning, so many processes in the planning, you can see that the most emphasis should be given to the planning. Lot of time to be spent in planning and less in execution. But what we do in normal projects, we fast track the planning process, and therefore we spend more time in execution and control than actually in planning, and therefore we increase the total duration of the project. If we spend more time in planning, it will reduce the total duration of the project. You see, the planning part is in all the knowledge areas. There is no knowledge area where it doesn't have any plan. And in one knowledge area, there are many 3, 4, 5 processes in one knowledge area of the planning. So planning is so important, and this much time has to be spent on this. Execution, you see there are less number of processes, but you see that either if you see at human resource, communication and stakeholder, if you see these out of 6 processes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 processes, 3 processes belong to only people around project. Resource management team, project team, people inside team. Communication management inside team, outside the team, outside the project also, other stakeholder. Stakeholder engagement inside the project, outside the project also, and they are all related to people management. So if you see in the execution, the most important part is project is managing team, dealing with people, and then comes to the quality assurance and conducting the procurement. So main thing for the project manager during execution is to deal with people appropriately, and if that happens, the execution will go planning is good and you know how to deal with the people, then your project is a cakewalk. Otherwise it is going to be a tough job. Monitoring control also have quite a few processes, but mostly you will see one knowledge area contains only one monitoring and control process only, except the integration management. While in the planning process, most of the most of the knowledge area contain 2, 3, 4, 5 processes in a. So that is the difference. So therefore planning is most important, then execution, and controlling is equally important. If you spend more time in planning, the time spent in execution and controlling will be less. And then the closing process, again there are two processes. You close the procurement and then close the project. So before we close the project, everything else has to be closed. Therefore procurement must be closed before the project closes. This is the end of project framework, project management framework. Okay, and what I suggest you that you go on the second section in the handouts. Let me try to show you. In this, I think it is last maybe 270. Okay. Okay. You see this? If you go to page number 283, page number 283, you will see 15 questions of project management framework. You see 283. Page number 283, you go, you will see questions on project management framework. Now, if you have any question, I can address that question, or otherwise, let's get on these questions and attempt these 15 questions. And then we will move forward. If you have any other question, ask me, I can address that question. Okay, so go ahead and answer these questions, and once you are done, just please type this into the chat box. Let me know through the chat box that you have done. Okay, and then we move forward with the discussion on these questions. That's okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Vivek, Amitav here.
Yes, Amitav.
This chat box, I am not getting that. Means where to do this chat? Type the things.
You are seeing the name of the participants?
Yes.
Below that, there is
name of the.
You have a panel, right? There is a panel on the right hand side.
I have the name of the participants.
Okay, just below the part.
There is a chat. There is a chat box that is there. I have to type.
Yes, yes, yes. So there is a typing box also given in that. First, on the top, you are seeing the message which is given by other people. Below that, there is a place to type. You can try out.
Okay.
So once you are done, just type here. You are done. Then once all are done, we can move ahead with the discussion on these questions. Okay. Yes, you got it.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
So the first question, what is the answer of the first question? You can type this in the chat box.
Actually, Vivek, I have sent in the chat box answer to all the questions.
Yeah, I saw that, but I think it is better we go one by one, because my way of working is like that. If all have agreed on one thing, then there is no discussion required on that. But if even one person has a different opinion, then we should discuss that matter.
Okay.
That's how I will proceed actually.
Okay.
Okay, so what is the first question? If you can type your answer quickly, just A, B, C, D, that will be good enough. If I see there is like different options coming up, then I will discuss it, otherwise just pass it on. I see only two answers. Okay, A, B, and two more answer I am expecting. A. Okay. So Rupesh, you have done?
Yes.
Okay, your answer is not there on the chat box. Okay, so there are two, A and D. So basically, what question is saying, the project manager on a software development project faced challenges in getting enough attention for the project from resources. So is facing challenge in getting enough attention from the resources. That means the resources are not committed to project. First thing, resources are focused on other technical work, and project manager has little authority on the resources. So when we talk about that project, people are focusing on technical work, means they are more focusing on their functional work. Project managers has little authority. If it is projectized, project manager have full authority. What form of organization is this, which is leading towards functional or weak matrix? Because weak matrix is not an option here, we go for the functional.
Yes. Yeah, it is functional.
Make sense? What about second? Most of the people have then C. During the life cycle of project, expenditure pattern usually follow a bell curve. That this indicates that, see, planning is good, there will be less expenditure. That is, bell curve is not showing this. That's a concept actually.
Vivek sir, this is the third question. The second question is, all the following are characteristics of a project except.
Oh, sorry. Second is, okay. All the following are characteristic of the project except
C.
Okay, temporary is yes, project has a definited yes, contains recurring event and work, no. So C is the right answer actually, right? Oh, sorry. Create a unique product, yes, project create a unique product. So C is the right answer. Sorry, I moved to third actually. What about the third one? D. Okay. What about the question 4? A, all A. Anybody differing from A? All A. Okay. What about question
No,
number?
we did not cover this part, right?
Yes, as such you are right, but we did talk about that in the closer you do project archives. So there are 3 things: project archive, the transition to the project, and the lesson learned. So in closer actually these 3 things happen. So administrative closure process as such we have not covered yet, but in the closer there are three things. So other things are basically, if you say cost benefit, it is initiation. Project management plan is a planning. A risk analysis plan is also a planning. It's not a closure.
Planning.
So other 3 are
Project
basically planning or initiation. What about 5th? B, D. What about others? All B. Okay, let's go to 6. C. What about question number 7? Operations are ongoing, right? What about question number 8?
Question 8 is not fully visible.
Question number 8 is not fully C, right? All C? Good. What about 9? You people are doing an excellent job. Very attentive. Question number 9. Sorry, 9 हो गया है, right? 9 is done. Sorry, question number 10.
Yeah.
Question number 10. A, B. Identify stakeholder is a part of initiation. So only there are 2 processes in initiation. One is create project charter, and second is identify stakeholder. So it's a part of initiation. What about 11? D, C. Okay. This question is like that. A team member reports to project manager that due to stuck on an issue, he is running behind schedule and will take 2 additional days to complete the work. They are in which project management process? So basically initiating is something like you are conceptualizing something, trying to find what needs to be done. Planning is planning part. Now execution means there are 2 things that happen in execution. Execution means you do the work and collect data. Okay. So in execution you do the work and collect the data. In monitoring and control you compare the data with the plan one. Only then you come to know it is delay or early. So what is saying, he is running behind schedule, means he is running behind, means he has compared. So it's just not collected the data and take 2 additional days. So monitoring means you are identified the variance, and the second step saying the corrective measure, 2 additional days to complete the work. And therefore it is D is the right answer, because it's monitoring and control, because you are measuring the variance and taking corrective measures. The execution means you do the work and collect the data only. You cannot say you are delayed or not, but you have collected, okay, this work is completed in 7 days. I don't know it is early, late. When I compare with the plan, then I will come to know that it is late or early. Does that make sense? So the right answer is D actually, in this case. What about 12? B, all B, very good. What about 13? Yeah, team members are concerned about their next assignment. It means it's a projectized organization. Correct. What about 14? D, very good. One C, other D, okay. Okay, so it will be a D answer. The reason behind that is that the project is observing frequent changes during project execution that have significant impact. What should be done in such a situation? So in execution, if we are facing frequent changes, that means we haven't done the scoping and the requirement properly. That is planning part. If we have done our planning good, we may not be facing frequent changes in the execution. So problem in the execution normally give us indication that our planning is not so good. So we need to go back to the planning part and see that is anything, or can we do little better, at least for the future. So frequent changes during execution actually indicate that there could be one planning or initiating process is not done correctly or rightly, properly. So D is the right answer in this case. Does that make sense? What about 15? Identify and select appropriate process for projects. Right. So I think this is understood that to make a project highly profitable is not project manager's primary responsibility. Hire and fire resources is not the project manager's primary responsibility. Ensure that resources are putting full time is also not project manager's primary responsibility. Is not putting full time, but they are giving their full and working on the delivery is what required. So identify and select the process, appropriate process for the project. This is what is really important, because when you are starting a project, if you are not selected the right process, your people will be working on something which is not required for the project, and therefore it will be a waste of time. And I say it is very, very common that when we go start a new project, we take up the organization standard processes and adopt everything without any customization or tailoring. If you are not doing tailoring, organization processes are meant for all type of projects, not only your projects. So tailoring is must. Otherwise, therefore people say the processes are bureaucratic, because they have adopted processes which are not making sense much. Okay, so this was the last question, and so A is the right answer, which you have answered correctly. This is, I think you all would be quite attentive, and at least even those answers were correct, which are actually I not so covered so directly. So that's a great thing. Tomorrow we will meet at the same time. So till that time, bye for now, and see you tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Vivek, sorry, I have a request.
Yes.
Actually, today I had a very bad internet connection, so I kept dropping out after 10 minutes.
I saw, yes.
Can I have an access to the recording of this session?
Yes, sure. We have recorded this session, but the problem is that it takes a day or two to at least to process this recording and then uploading it and make it available to you.
Okay, that's all right. I think, but if I go through the written material, I think I'll be able to cover it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. In a day or two, by Monday, Tuesday, you will get the recording also.
Okay.
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 Thank you. See you tomorrow at the same time. Bye-bye.
Bye.